Hey everybody, it's Kevin here. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about my wedding collateral. And what does that mean? Well, it's the actual tangible paperwork that I give to a prospective couple who wants to book me for their wedding. Now, I have everything that is in my collateral set, pretty much everything, on my website. So if you've seen my website video, then you have seen a lot of this content already. But what I wanted to do is show you the actual physical paperwork that I deliver to my couples when we're talking. I've also delivered some of these collateral items to venues, and I'll put them together in a packet. So a venue has some information about me, and that can be pretty helpful, especially if you get in really good and close and build a strong relationship with your favorite venues. It can be great for them to have some information already about you and your DJ services. So what I'm gonna do is walk you guys through this. Now, first off, I wanna show you guys, this is super low tech, not very professional in terms of like, I didn't go out and hire a publisher or a printer to do this for me, okay? This is all homemade, handmade, whatever you wanna say. And what I do is, the way I justify it in my mind is that if I can do a really good job with the content, I can basically show this and share this with my couples and not have to spend too much in terms of, publishing costs or production costs, because I think at the end of the day, I'm not working with thousands of customers. People are typically not buying my service dependent on the quality of the paper of my collateral, but it is important to have something. So any case, I'm sure it depends on your market, depends on your competition, and depends on how big a scope your business is. For me, I found that this works just great. First off, these folders I got from Office Depot, okay? So you can buy it in bulk, and I found this little sticker maker, so I put my little logo on it, and here's what it looks like when you open it up. Here's a business card. So this folder that I found at Office Depot had like little cutouts here, and you can slide a business card right in there, okay? Okay, so you've got this, and I've got two sides, and I'll kind of show you guys. We'll walk through it on the computer so you don't have to squint and look at the paper, but these are literally sheets of paper that I printed out from my printer here, okay? So nothing major. You could certainly go to FedEx Kinko's and get these mass printed or get a better paper if you wanted to, but this is what I've done, and I have gotten so many compliments when I give this out to brides and grooms, and I see often that they'll keep this, or some brides and grooms that have like that big binder for their wedding planning, they'll like punch holes and they'll keep all my paperwork. They love it. So it's just something, at least in my market, that people have valued very much. So let's talk through what's in this folder. All right, so basically what you see here is a folder, and this folder has documents that are labeled 1 dot something and then 2 dot something. And what I've done here is these are PDF files that I made either from PowerPoint files or from just Google Docs. And what I've done is exported them to PDF files. So I have these files up on my my Google Drive, if you will, and I export the PDFs. Some of these PDFs I put right onto my website, and you saw that if you watched my website video, you would see some of these documents there. But then I have all these PDF files. I keep them on my laptops. I also, I can have them quickly accessible if I wanted to, if I was doing a in-person meeting and I need to bring one up to show a client, a prospective wedding client. But I also print from these as well. And you can get print PDF combiners. I've got a PDF combiner software that just basically takes all the ones and prints, and then does all the twos and prints them as well. So you can do that for sure, and that makes things easier. But let's go through and I'll just show you these components. The 1 versus the 2 is essentially just which side of the folder it's on, side 1 or side 2, okay? So super simple, but that's just my way of keeping organized. Okay, so let's look at these. Page 1, Number one is just wedding DJ proposal. Now I've got a copy of this. What I usually do is I will type up, if I know the couple's name before I'm meeting with them, or if I'm, going to a first consultation and I know their names, I'll type here, wedding DJ proposal for such and so, for their wedding on, and I'll put the date. So I'll have that. But here's just a blank one in case maybe it's for a couple I have not met. Maybe this right here is my my packet that I'm going to hand out to people that are interested at a wedding DJ show, or I'm sorry, like a bridal show rather. And I have a DJ booth. Now, I wouldn't give this folder just to anyone and just hand them out like crazy, because nobody wants all that weight in their bag as they're walking around. But if they're talking to me, I'll give them one of these folders so they have some information about me. So there's a cover sheet. I go into my pricing, and so this is just my pricing sheet with, hey, I've got reception service, or I've got ceremony and reception service. Here's all the stuff that's included, and here's some party builders, some things that are additional, that, if you will. So I've talked about these things that I include in my other videos, but you can kind of see I try to keep everything that you would need in the blue. That's all included. And then a couple things in the green, again, party builders or add-ons that people might want to add onto their service. So what's next? In section 1, my uplights. So, hey guys, I just told you about uplights as a party builder. Here's a little information about what are uplights, and a little color selector bar. Here's some common colors. I think that people know what uplights are, but they don't know the name uplights. So once you show them some photos like this, they instantly know. Monogram. Here's like a little summary of a monogram sheet. Again, these are just one pagers that are in that little folder, and they kind of highlight my different services. What's next? Hey, remember that party builder cello player? This is the cellist, and this is my son Owen, who plays ceremonies sometimes if brides and grooms might want him to play them for him. So basically a one pager about Owen. And then finally a wedding DJ contract. Here's my contract. And it's just like a, 4 or 5 page contract. And everywhere they have to fill out information is in yellow. So they could literally write in the yellow components, or, select what service type they want, what's their add-on that they want to pick, and boom, it's all ready to go, and they can sign it and send it over to me. Okay, so it's all in paper, it's all printed out for them already. Okay, on the second side of the notebook are things that are a little more about my value proposition. I start off with this document here, and I'm not sure why I have 2 of them, but it's putting smiles in your milestones. It's kind of like my company name is, you can see putting smiles in your milestones. So I like to pop that for people, and that's like that's the first page of this side 2, okay? Side 2 of the folder, and just like a bunch of smiles and action shots. Some of these you might see on my website if you look through it, but I just want to show a bunch of smiles because it's really the purpose of what we're trying to do, make awesome memories. Now, you can also see here, there's every single page I have my information on it, my socials, my contact, because I want people to have quick access and easy access to that. I'm not sure why I have 2 of these, but I'm sure. Okay, let's just delete that. No worries. I probably should take this out of my recording, but you guys don't mind, right? I mean, it's a little bit of a reality when you're making videos like this. Okay, so what else do I have? 2.2 is value proposition. This is something that I wrote just for my collateral. This isn't something that's on my website, but I say it in other ways in my website. Okay, so check this out. This is what I'd like you to know about my service and what sets me apart from other DJs. So I have 5 value proposition statements, and this is very much, if you think about corporate strategy, okay, marketing and corporate strategy, companies always want to try to bring forward their value proposition. What is it that makes them special, and why should you care about them? So I'm trying to do that here. So I talk about it's all for the smiles. That's really my goal. I want to make these, make everybody happy and smiling in these milestone moments through my DJing, okay? Dancing, sing along, whatever it is, right? The special moments we create with our music. And I want to say also, I'm more than just a DJ. So if a client hires me, I'm going to be more of an entertainment director. And I know there's a lot of things that we do as DJs, especially mobile DJs, that transcends just spinning records and playing music. So I try to bring that out. Is that a unique value proposition? I don't think so, but it is something I want to highlight. It's something that they're getting if they hire me, more than just a DJ. I highly customize my service to the client. I do not have a bulk or canned playlist. You guys might have seen in some of my other videos that I really put a lot of time and effort into curating a playlist and the music that I'm going to play, the soundtrack for every single event I do. So I talk about that a little bit. My next point is I'm all inclusive. I try to have a straightforward and simple pricing structure. So you guys saw that before. I just have basically one service level, one package, if you will, and then some add-ons. Again, that might not work in everybody's market, but it works for me and works really well. And I want to call that out, that I'm all inclusive. And then professionalism. I find that people really expect a certain level of professionalism from any vendor, but as a DJ, since you're not only hosting the evening, you're being the curator of the music, you're also going to be pulling the event through the timeline. You're also going to be talking to guests. That professionalism goes a long way. So I'm sure to call that out and talk about how I am very professional. So there's that document, and I went in a little bit of detail there just because I haven't talked about that document before in my videos. So next up, wedding reviews. And this is just a couple sample reviews of, hey guys, here's what Patty R said. Here's what Chris S said. Here's what Jonathan M said. And then a little bit about my ratings and rankings, on my review sources. So just a little bit, and certainly people can go out and look at that themselves. But it's good to have something tangible, and also something that they can look at, and it might jog their memory, remind them that, oh yeah, okay, Kevin's got reviews on Facebook, I'm gonna go check it out. Gear and setup. This is for like the gear heads. Some people just want to know, like, hey, what kind of speakers do you have? What kind of wattage are they? That kind of stuff. What kind of lights do you use? What's your setup gonna look like? So you can see here, I just have a couple examples of different things there. The DJ process flow, which I've done another video on, that basically takes you from start to your wedding day. What is it like working with me as your DJ? So all the planning, and this first section's all months before the wedding, and then 1 month before the wedding, and then the week of the wedding, and all the things that we're gonna do. The greens are just contact or virtual activities. The blue are in-person type activities typically. So I do a whole video on that. I won't bore you with the detail, but that is, I found to be a great tool to walk folks through, especially when I'm sitting down with a couple and I'm walking them through the process. They love to see that, that there's a documented process, and they can walk away with, they don't have like chicken scratch or whatever. They have a document. This is also on my website. So for people that don't want the paper and they're like, thanks, but no thanks for the folder, Kevin. I'm kind of I'm going to be using electronic. That's fine. I just make sure they have my business card or they have my URL or something, so they can go to my website and they can find these same documents. I have the wedding planning template, which I'll make a video on, I think, in the future, but it's super simple, and it's just basically an Excel sheet or an Excel document, or maybe it's a Google Sheets. It's in two forms. But I just share that with people so they can see, hey, this is the document that we're going to plan on together, and we're going to walk through together when we plan your wedding. Then I have my FAQ, my 4-page questions to ask a wedding DJ. And these are questions I would ask a wedding DJ, okay, if I were getting married again. And what's so cool about this is that you can see the questions, and the couple can use the questions, see my answer right here, right next to it. But then they could cover up my answers and use these questions with another DJ and compare and contrast. I don't care, because, I'm really hoping that the client finds their best fit. There's more than enough couples that need help and need a wedding DJ. So I'm not trying to capture everyone in my grasp and get the business. What I want to do is find the best fit. And if you have that, if that's your genuine thought about things, I think people sense that, and you're going to work with the right client. okay? And y'all know what I mean by the right client. We certainly, there's certain clients that you would rather work with than others. Bring the party ideas, and these are nothing crazy spectacular, but they're just ideas and activities that the bride and groom have probably seen before. Some of them they've heard about. Some of them I just made up, like Blind Connect 4, which is a blast, by the way. And some of these are just things that maybe they've seen the Newlywed Shoe Game, they didn't know what it was called, or they forgot about it and they're like, oh yeah, I definitely want to do that. So I just give some ideas on some activities, so that's in there. And then two of my favorite, this is a concept that I did a whole video on earlier called my wedding walkthroughs. And these are so powerful, guys, because shopping for a wedding DJ is not super easy. If you think about it, it's not something that you can just go and test out. Like if you're buying an avocado, you can go to the store and you can look at the avocado. You can say, oh, that looks like a nice healthy green color for an avocado. I've seen avocados before. I know what they're supposed to look like. That's a good one. Let me squish it. Oh yeah, that's good. It's slightly firm, but gives a little. That's a perfect consistency for an avocado because I'm going to make some guacamole tonight, and it's got to be a little squishy, but not too squishy and not too firm. Okay, you get my drift, right? Like, you might know a lot about avocados and you can have a base knowledge and go shop at the grocery store for that avocado. But you're not going to have that for a wedding DJ. No couple really has a good sense of, number one, what even to ask you. They have a couple things, right, that they might have, they might have had some experiences, good or bad experiences at other friends' weddings or other events that they've been to. And they know, like, hey, one recently that I was asked, it was a good question, really good question. Hey, what happens if you play a song and we're in the middle of dancing and all of a sudden half the dance floor just clears and people start just moseying off and you see people kind of slow down and they kind of like head for the bar and all of a sudden you got an empty dance floor? Well, I tell them that, it was a great question. And I'm like, so has that happened to you recently? Have you seen that? And they're like, yeah, we just had a wedding and it happened. And the DJ played that song all the way through and it was almost ironic. And the prospective bride was like, yeah, so she's like, yeah, you're just going to let that play through, aren't you? Yep. You're just going to let it play. And it went on for it was a 4-minute song. Anyway, we've all been there and we've done that, of course, as DJs. So I explained to the couple that, oh, well, what my style is, if I see just a crash and burn on the dance floor like that, that gives me good feedback, right? So the song choice that was the couple asked me to play was off a little bit, or maybe it was something that I took a chance on because I saw some action or some excitement, some toe tapping earlier in the night on a certain genre, and I thought, oh, this will work later, and it didn't pan out. Well, I mix out of that song, okay? I'm going to do it discreetly, right? It's not going to sound like a train wreck or it's not going to sound terrible, but I'm going to basically go in there and say, maybe like right after the chorus, I'm just going to fade out and get into the next genre or the next song or whatever and get past it so I can hopefully salvage the dance floor and keep people bopping. Anyway, that was one of the things that I was asked and I thought that was pretty good. So again, back to my point, couples don't know, they don't know about wedding services. They don't know what it's like. So I made this little wedding walkthrough and I thought that this would be a good tool. And it turns out that I've gotten a lot of good feedback about it. I do a whole video on it, so I won't bore you. But again, this is the wedding walkthrough. I do 2 of them. It's basically my wedding script, my day of script, and I follow the script, the timeline, and then I use pictures in this one just to show and make it more tangible so the couple can see what's going on. I even have a link to the actual video from the wedding. So if a couple wanted to say, hey, okay, cool, this is neat and everything, but what's that video? What's that video? I want to see it so they can look at the actual video. I also do one, and this one might take a little bit of I usually have a little bit of a introduction on this one because this one I show songs. I'm actually showing my playlist. I just took the export out of my record box software, and here are the songs I played in order for the whole night. You can see when we get into open dancing. It gets kind of fun, here. These are the songs that I played, and I have little arrows here. It looks a little bit messy, but what I'm trying to do is show people, hey, this is the timeline. Here's what was on my script, and here's what I played. And what I'm doing here is showing people basically from the advice and guidance that I got from the couple, their song selections, their vibe that they wanted, which I have kind of written notes in here in pink. I took that and I created and curated a playlist. So these are this is like me behind the scenes. This is what I did. I translated, and I also used my powers of observation as a DJ and watched the dance floor, watch what was going on all night, and built this playlist live. I curated it beforehand, but then I made adjustments, and I maybe went beyond the playlist and pulled things out because I thought it might work based on the live feedback. So, any case, guys, that is the last piece of my side 2 of my folder, and that wraps up my collateral for weddings that I give out to my couples or venues to give them more information about me and my services. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope maybe it gave you a little bit of information, a little bit of insight into what some collateral that has worked for me it looks like. Maybe it can work for you. Maybe you can steal just one idea from the set of documents that we just walked through, and that can enhance your services. I hope so. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.